everybody. Welcome to Justice Served Daily. I will apologize in advance. I know my voice may sound weird, and I may start hacking, coughing, sneezing, whatever. I have been under the weather for several days. That's what happens when you go around family, right? You suddenly get sick with all of them, but nearby. But this information came out today, and I had to update it because of the last video that we did talking about Kegan Kline's witness list and if this would affect anything and how would he feel about the people who were on the list. And interesting enough, we kind of have an answer to that. So, but one, I hope everybody is doing well. And welcome Lynn and Kid Kitty and Grizz. I appreciate you guys being out there. And I'm going to go ahead and hello, Evil CJ. Sorry I haven't been out on your show, Evil CJ. I have been so ill. So let me share what information that's going on right now for you guys. So we get filed today, Monday in court, that Kegan Kline's attorneys request a change of a plea hearing. So, yeah, that's interesting. So first we look here. This is in my case, Indiana, where we see that the original pretrial conference, and when I say original, I mean the latest many times this has been rescheduled, right? We've had this delayed so many times, it's ridiculous. And but March 30th was supposed to be the pretrial. And remember, in the last video that I did, I was curious whether this was going to happen or not. Something was going to delay it, or were we going to find out something new? And then his trial date would have been starting on May 10th. And they had that booked all the way out through May 18th. So as you can see, today, a motion to lift the pretrial conference and jury trial and scheduled a change of plea hearing. And then you see that there was a response to that petition that had been filed. So let me show you the news that was kind of going on about this. I like to show sources to show that I'm just not making stuff up over here. So as you see, the lawyers for Kegan Kline request the change. So as we look at this, let me move this because that would be helpful. Miami County, Indiana, lawyers for Kegan Kline request a change of plea hearing in their client's child pornography and child exploitation case. In court documents filed Monday in Miami County, Kline's counsel asked for his upcoming pretrial conference and jury trial to be lifted and a change of plea hearing scheduled. He faces more than 24 counts related to child pornography, child exploitation, identity deception, and obstruction of justice. Earlier this month, prosecutors released a list of potential witnesses for the upcoming trial. Kline hasn't agreed to a plea deal. Let me repeat that. Kline has not agreed to a plea deal with the state, as outlined in a response that was filed Monday afternoon by the deputy prosecutor, Courtney Alwyn, who said that the parties have not negotiated a proposed resolution. So as it says, these charges, more than 24, Remember, Kegan Kline was charged with 30 total charges. 5 of those had been dropped earlier, remember? And then the level had been changed. So any guilty plea would be without a plea agreement from the state, and the sentence would be determined entirely at the court's discretion. Owen wrote in her response to the defense motion, Owen did not object to the change of plea hearing. So Owen asked the court to convert the scheduled March 30th pretrial conference into the change of plea hearing so the matter is not further delayed. So the state additionally requested the court keep Kline's jury trial on the schedule until a guilty plea has been entered. So that's interesting. I think that, one, I'm not surprised. They want this done with as well. So they're like, okay, let's keep the March 30th date and he can plead guilty there, right? But they're going to keep the jury trial scheduled in case, I guess, something goes wrong, right? So this talks about what we talked about already. Kline's case has been delayed. Talks about the trial date on May 10th, which we've seen and we've gone over. Prosecutors had said Kline used the fake online profile called Anthony Shots to communicate with more than a dozen underage girls in order to solicit photos. I have shown you where those locations have been throughout the state of Indiana. While he has never been named a suspect in the Delphi murders of Abby Williams and Libby German, he became linked to the case after it came to light that the Anthony Shots account had communicated with Libby German. So I just want to emphasize that. A lot of people are always like, hey, why do we talk about, why are we talking about Kegan Kline? Why are we talking about him, or why did anybody talk about him during the Delphi murders? And that's because you can't ignore some type of information or connection that he has, one, due to the fact that the Anthony Shots case, account was communicating with Libby. And we know it was communicating with Libby the night before and up to the day of her murder. Again, it reminds about the when they actually searched his home and found these materials, which was on February 25th of 2017, which we've covered that probable cause affidavit and all the charges just recently again. And so let's move this forward here. Oops. Nope, that's not what I wanted. So then you have to think, did we have a change that we're going to accept him pleading guilty from his own defense attorneys now, after all these years? Did it have anything to do with the witness list? So remember, this witness list is going to be not what's called until May. It doesn't have anything to do with what was going to happen in pretrial coming up. And we went through the last video of where we have seen all of these officers FBI agents, state police, everybody who is going to be testifying, even a juvenile, but more importantly, friends on the list and his dad. And also, obviously, the gentleman who he used his photo for in his Anthony Shots profile. Would that have any reason to do with why Kegan is like, I'm just going to plead? I'm just going to plead out without a deal. Now, I find it interesting that this all happened now. You would think that maybe he would have waited to try to check if they would have given him less time. But I did go look and was trying to find out the most updated information that I could see for crimes dealing with CSAM. So hold on one second. Sorry about that. Okay, so penalties for child pornography in Indianapolis. This is what showing information on that. We've got, if it was a level 1 felony, the highest penalty would be 20 to 40 years imprisonment and up to a $10,000 fine. Now, he had some felonies that were moved to lower level. And so exploitation of a child, which is considered a level 5 felony, right? Which I believe his last ones that I saw was a level 4. Now, the other charges that he has on there, which, is obstruction by going and deleting that other phone, right? And other information that he has on there. Not sure what those would give in time. But a level 5 felony is punishable by anywhere from 1 to 6 years incarceration and fines up to $10,000. But let's all remember something. Kegan Kline has been in jail since August 19th of 2020. So we reviewed before that February 25th, 2017 probable cause affidavit, which had nothing to do with the Delphi murders, remember? And had everything to do with somebody communicating with an Anthony Shots, again, shared her address and about meeting, and found a man, I almost said gentleman, I shouldn't even, man isn't even the right word, but I can't use what I would like to say. Had this person outside of her bedroom window with a ski mask looking in it when she was coming home from school, which of course scared her. Now, this person told the Anthony Shots profile where she lived. And then this person showed up outside her house. This person was also trying to get images from her. So this was turned in from the FBI into local police. And then that's why this search warrant happened on February 25th, 2017. What they didn't know at the time was they had not yet looked at the materials on all of the devices of Kegan's. They had not yet connected Kegan Kline to Anthony Schatz yet, and knew that there was a connection to this Anthony Schatz profile communicating with Libby before the Delphi murders. So, after they finally looked at this materials, which was not till 3 years later in the spring, it's assigned to an officer. He gets the materials, he reviews the materials, he goes to court and asks by June and July, they review this materials, and then they ask for the warrant to go arrest Kegan Kline. So after we go get him, and he doesn't go into jail for 2020, for a whole year, again, we don't know he's there until a news reporter finds out that he is, and finds out that this person who they link and find out was an Anthony Schatz person communicating, finds out that the person they believe who and has admitted to creating it is in actual jail already. So we don't find out until December of 2021, little more than a year later. So we have at least these let's say level 5, okay, which level 4 is higher. So if you're looking at maybe 1 to 6 years per count, do they make it concurrent or consecutive? He's going to get time served that he also already has credit. He's going to have 3 years credit, basically. So it's not by plea deal that he's getting out. He doesn't know what kind of time he's going to get. So what is the judge going to give Kegan Kline in time? We will actually know this in 10 days. Will he be given enough credit? Surely not. That he can walk out the door? No, there's no way. In my opinion, can't be. That's only, per charge. And again, I don't know what the obstruction of justice amount of time that would be served. I'm not an attorney, and I don't play one on YouTube. But, you've got these charges that he is going to have 3 years, almost 3 years credit for. I don't know. I think it's disgusting also if there is any type of good behavior credit, because of time served. Right. It would be disgusting. And I am anxious to see. So, I just wanted to look this up. and see what it says. For good time served. Many people convicted of criminal offenses in Indiana are surprised to learn that it is possible to reduce your sentence through good time credit. Through good behavior during your imprisonment, you earn days off your sentence. If you abide by the rules daily, so for example, your 1 year sentence could turn into 6 months. Wouldn't that be sick? So I wanted to make sure to come on, give everybody the update of what's being heard. Um, I'm just trying to look. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make sure I look and see if there's any other information here. So it says that are most of the time they're for most misdemeanors and some low level felonies. So you can earn a 1 day credit for 1 day served. Wow. You know, this is my opinion, and I don't want to get on a soapbox, but if there's a minimum sentence that you're supposed to serve and it's given as 1 year, why aren't they serving? And this is just as an example. Why wouldn't you serve the 1 year? Then why the hell do we call it a minimum sentence? Right? If minimum, they say, hey, minimum for this is this amount of time, then you should have to serve that amount of time. You should not be able to, wow, I behaved really well while I was locked in a cell, shouldn't give you credit to get out early. A minimum to me means a minimum. By the way, hello, Dre, Kip Kitty. I mean, am I the only one to think that? I mean, why do we say minimum sentence then? Why do we tell people that? So right now we've got um he's gonna sit here and go plead guilty. It doesn't come with anything promised from the defense team, right? Or the prosecutor, sorry. The prosecutor, no plea deal. So that's good. But then it's left up to how much time are they going to give him? Is he going to get credit for good behavior? Because we already know he's going to get credit for sitting in jail for almost 3 years without talking about other crap that we know he knows, in my opinion. It's ridiculous. It just seems like criminals have more rights than anybody else. It doesn't make any sense. Because Right. This doesn't have anything to do with Delphi murders. I'm going to make sure to reiterate that. You know what it does have to deal with? It does have to deal with girls who were taken advantage of, who were lied to, who thought they were talking to a teenage boy who lied to them, got images of them, and was sharing these images with other people. And then possibly stalking them, finding them. I showed in the last video what locations in Indiana he did this for those crimes. Remember, not all of them were charged because they could not identify the age of the girls. And stuff like that that happens to young people, they don't, they're never the same. They're not the same. And if he's in jail, that doesn't matter because there's other people who have those images he shared with them. And they will always have them. And whoever they shared them with. So we will know in 10 days what's going to go on, what's going to happen, how much time they're going to give. I hope is announced on that actual day when he makes the plea deal of guilty. I'm sure it will be completely covered by news. Big time. So we will wait and see. But I wanted to come on here and give you guys this update because myself, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to update everybody and let you know about it. I'll keep an eye out there for any other information. Again, who knows? Did Dad not want to testify? Again, we didn't know if he was a participating witness. I would doubt that. He was probably being subpoenaed, and he probably didn't want to come in. Did his dad tell him that? We'll learn. But I appreciate you guys being here and dropping in with me real quick, and for me to be able to update you guys on this information. So I appreciate you. Please, if you are watching this and you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe and like button. I am not a monetized channel, but the subscribe buttons do mean a lot to me, for I know that the word is getting out and the stories are getting out there. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate you in chat too. All of you guys for jumping in so quick and at the last moment. Appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you, Kid Kitty. Yes, I will. I took some Vicks and stuff to try to sound a little better for this, but anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for being here. And thank you for helping me make sure that justice is served daily. Thanks, guys.